Her name is Margaret. She just turned 70 last spring. All her life she's been active, gardening, walking to the market, chasing after her grandchildren when they were younger. But lately she's been noticing something troubling. Carrying a basket of laundry feels heavier than it used to. Climbing the stairs leaves her out of breath. Even holding her posture at church makes her shoulders ache. Margaret hasn't changed much about her lifestyle. She still eats her boiled eggs in the morning, just like she has for years. She still prepares balanced meals, tries to stay positive, and gets her walks in when the weather allows. But when she looks in the mirror, she sees arms that aren't as firm, legs that don't feel as steady, and a body that seems to be slowly betraying her. Does this sound familiar? The truth is, Margaret's story isn't unique. It's the story of millions of men and women over 70. And it's not just about appearance. It's about independence, confidence, and the ability to do everyday things without fear of falling or fatigue. Doctors have a name for this: sarcopenia, or age-related muscle loss. It's a silent thief, stealing strength year after year, even when you're eating what you think is the right food. So why does this happen? Why isn't eating protein-rich foods like eggs enough to stop the decline? Here's the secret. After a certain age, our bodies develop what scientists call anabolic resistance. It's like a stubborn wall between the protein you eat and the muscles you're trying to protect. Your body simply doesn't respond to protein as efficiently as it once did. And that's why people like Margaret, people like you, can eat healthy, stay active, and still watch their strength fade. But here's where hope comes in. Nutrition science has revealed something powerful. There is a type of protein that doesn't just nudge your muscles, it wakes them up. A protein that works better than eggs at helping seniors rebuild and maintain muscle. A protein that can give people like Margaret back the strength and stability they thought they'd lost forever. In today's video, we're going to uncover this overlooked protein, explain why it outperforms eggs after 70, show you the science behind it, and most importantly, share practical ways you can start using it in your own life. Because this isn't about adding years to your life. It's about adding strength, energy, and independence to the years you already have. And trust me, once you understand how this works, you'll never look at protein the same way again. Why muscle health matters after 70. As we get older, it's easy to think of muscle as something only athletes or bodybuilders worry about. But after 70, muscle isn't about vanity or building bulk. It's about survival, independence, and dignity. Think about it this way. Muscle is your body's engine. It's what helps you rise from a chair, carry groceries from the car, climb the stairs, or even catch yourself if you stumble. When muscle begins to shrink and weaken, these everyday activities become harder and riskier. This isn't just about looking frail. It's about losing the ability to live life on your own terms. Doctors have a word for this process: sarcopenia, which simply means age-related muscle loss. It begins quietly, often in your 50s or 60s, but accelerates after 70. Studies show that seniors can lose up to 15% of their muscle strength per decade after this age. And it's not just the large muscles in your arms and legs, it's also the muscles that support balance, protect your joints, and even help you breathe deeply. Why does this matter so much? Because when muscle fades, independence fades with it. Without strong muscles, walking becomes unstable, falls become more common, and injuries take longer to heal. In fact, falls are one of the leading causes of hospital visits among older adults, and muscle weakness is one of the biggest contributors. But here's something even more eye-opening. Muscle isn't just about movement. It's also about health at the deepest level. Strong muscles help regulate your blood sugar, protect your bones, and even boost your immune system. They keep your metabolism active so you can maintain a healthy weight, and they help prevent the fatigue that so many seniors mistake for just getting old. In reality, much of that tiredness comes from weak muscles that force the body to work twice as hard. Let's go back to Margaret for a moment. Remember how she struggled with stairs and laundry? That wasn't just inconvenience. It was a warning sign. Every step that feels harder is her body's way of saying, I need stronger muscles to keep you safe. And this is why muscle health after 70 matters more than ever. It's not about looking younger. It's about feeling stronger, staying steady, and living fully. Muscle is your shield against falls, your fuel for daily energy, and your key to independence. So here's the big question. If muscle is this important, why isn't protein, like eggs, doing the job anymore? Why do people like Margaret, James, and Rosa still lose strength despite eating well? The answer lies in something called anabolic resistance. And once you understand it, everything about protein, aging, and muscle will suddenly make sense. The problem: anabolic resistance. Now that we understand how important muscle health is after 70, the next question is, why does it feel so hard to keep those muscles strong, even when you're eating protein-rich foods like eggs, chicken, or fish? The answer lies in a process scientists call anabolic resistance. Don't let the big words scare you. It simply means that as we age, our muscles stop responding to protein as efficiently as they once did. Let's put this into perspective. Imagine your muscles are like a car engine. When you were younger, you put in fuel, protein, and the engine roared to life, building muscle and repairing tissues with ease. But as you get older, the engine gets a little rusty. You put in the same fuel, but the engine sputters. It doesn't burn the protein as effectively. That's anabolic resistance at work. For someone like Margaret, this means that the boiled egg she eats every morning no longer gives her muscles the same rebuilding power it once did. Instead of fueling repair, much of that protein passes by unused, leaving her muscles undernourished. Scientists have found that older adults need more protein per meal just to trigger the same muscle-building response that younger people get effortlessly. For example, while a younger adult might only need 20 grams of protein to spark muscle repair, someone over 70 may need closer to 30 to 40 grams in a single meal. And here's the tricky part. If you don't get enough protein at once, your body won't even bother turning it into muscle. It's like flipping a switch. Either you meet the threshold and your muscles start repairing, or you don't, and the protein goes to other functions instead. This is why so many seniors feel frustrated. They say, "But I eat my eggs, my chicken, my beans. Why am I still getting weaker?" It's not that you're doing anything wrong. It's that your body has changed the rules of the game. Anabolic resistance also explains why muscle loss speeds up after 70. Without the right kind of protein and the right amount, the body keeps breaking down muscle faster than it can rebuild it. Over time, that adds up to weaker legs, slower walking, and more fatigue. But here's the hopeful part. Not all proteins are created equal. Some types of protein are especially good at breaking through anabolic resistance. They contain higher amounts of an amino acid called leucine, which acts like the on switch for muscle growth. And one particular protein source, yes, even better than eggs, has been proven to flip that switch more effectively in older adults. In the next section, I'll reveal what that protein is, why it works so powerfully, and how you can start using it to rebuild strength after 70, the secret protein that works better than eggs. So, if our bodies after 70 struggle with anabolic resistance, the next question is, what protein can actually break through that barrier? What source works better than eggs at waking up tired muscles and telling them, "It's time to grow again"? The answer is whey protein. Now I know what you might be thinking. Whey protein. Isn't that just for bodybuilders and athletes? That's what most people believe. But here's the truth. Science shows that whey protein is one of the most powerful tools for seniors who want to hold on to muscle, stay strong, and remain independent. Here's why. Whey protein is rich in something called leucine, an essential amino acid that acts like the spark plug for muscle growth. Remember when we said older muscles need a stronger signal to respond to protein? Leucine is that signal. It flips the switch inside your body that tells your muscles, wake up, rebuild, repair. Eggs do contain leucine, and they're still healthy. But whey protein contains a much higher concentration and, just as important, it's absorbed into your body much faster. That means within minutes of drinking it, your bloodstream is flooded with the exact amino acids your muscles are craving. For someone over 70, that quick delivery can make all the difference. Think of it like this. If protein is the building material for your muscles, leucine is the construction foreman who shouts, "Let's get to work!" Eggs whisper the message. Whey protein shouts it loud and clear. Several studies back this up. Researchers have found that older adults who supplement with whey protein, especially after exercise, experience greater muscle protein synthesis, which is the scientific way of saying their bodies actually build more muscle, compared to those eating eggs or other protein sources. And here's the best part. Whey isn't about bulking up like a bodybuilder. For seniors, it's about protecting balance, keeping legs strong, making everyday movements easier, and reducing the risk of falls. In other words, whey protein gives you practical strength, the kind that matters for daily life. Let's go back to Margaret for a moment. Imagine her starting her morning not just with eggs, but with a small whey protein shake alongside her breakfast. Suddenly, her body is no longer ignoring the protein. It's using it, repairing her muscles, and slowly giving her back the confidence she thought she'd lost. Now, you don't have to replace your favorite meals or abandon eggs altogether. Whey is simply an addition, a tool to give your muscles the specific fuel they need after 70. And when you understand how and when to use it, it can change the way you age. Next, we'll look at the science behind whey protein, why it works so well, how researchers discovered its benefits for older adults, and what that means for your health today. The science behind it. Now that we've revealed whey protein as the secret weapon, let's talk about the science that makes it so powerful, especially for people over 70. First, let's revisit that word we mentioned earlier, muscle protein synthesis. This is the process your body uses to repair and build muscle fibers after they've been used, stressed, or even slightly damaged during daily activities or exercise. Think of it like patching holes and strengthening a wall that's been worn down over time. For younger people, almost any protein flips the switch to start repairs. But for seniors, the switch gets harder to turn on. That's where whey comes in. Studies have shown that whey protein is exceptionally rich in branched-chain amino acids, and especially leucine, which is like the master key for unlocking muscle growth. In fact, whey has one of the highest leucine concentrations of any natural protein source, higher than eggs, meat, or beans. Here's why that matters. Researchers at several universities, including work published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, found that when older adults consumed whey protein after light resistance exercise, their muscles showed a significantly higher response than when the same people ate eggs or soy protein. In plain terms, whey got their muscles to listen and start rebuilding again, while the other proteins had a weaker effect. And it's not just about how much leucine whey has, it's also about how quickly it gets into your system. Whey protein is absorbed and digested faster than almost any other protein. Within about 30 minutes of drinking it, amino acid levels in your blood rise sharply, sending a strong and clear message to your muscles. It's time to rebuild. Eggs, on the other hand, take much longer to digest, so the muscle-building signal is weaker and slower. This fast, powerful signal is especially important after 70, when your body is naturally fighting against anabolic resistance. By giving your muscles a protein that hits harder and faster, you're essentially outsmarting the resistance that comes with age. What's even more exciting is that studies show whey protein can also help with other aspects of health, like preserving bone strength, supporting immune function, and even improving recovery after illness or surgery. This makes whey not just a muscle builder, but a whole body protector. So when you hear people say, protein is protein, it doesn't matter what kind, you now know that's not entirely true, especially in older age. Not all proteins send the same signal to your muscles. And for seniors, choosing the one that sends the strongest, clearest message, whey protein, can make the difference between losing strength each year or regaining it. In the next section, we'll break it down even further. How much whey protein is safe and effective for seniors, the best times of day to take it, and practical, easy ways to add it into your routine without feeling like you're on a bodybuilder's diet. How to add it safely into your diet. Now that we know why whey protein works so well, the big question is, how do you actually add it into your daily life, safely, simply, and without turning into a gym rat? The first thing to know is this: You don't need giant tubs of powder or fancy supplements. Whey protein is just another form of dairy. It's the liquid left over when milk is turned into cheese, and it's been concentrated into a powder that mixes easily with food and drinks. For seniors, it's one of the most convenient ways to get muscle-boosting nutrition without adding heavy or hard-to-chew foods to your plate. So, how much do you need? Most research suggests that older adults should aim for 25 to 35 grams of protein per meal, and within that, about 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine to really turn on muscle building. A scoop of whey protein powder usually gives you around 20 to 25 grams of protein, including plenty of leucine. That's often the perfect boost to meet your body's needs when eggs or chicken alone aren't enough. Timing also matters. Whey protein is most effective when you use it at key times during the day. The best times are in the morning to jumpstart your muscles after fasting overnight. After exercise, even light activity like a walk or a resistance band workout, because your muscles are especially eager to repair. Before bed, where it helps reduce nighttime muscle breakdown and support strength while you sleep. But here's the good news. You don't have to drink chalky shakes or feel like you're on a strict program. There are easy, tasty ways to add whey protein into your meals. Stir a scoop into oatmeal or cream of wheat. Blend it into a fruit smoothie with berries and milk. Mix it into yogurt for a creamy, protein-packed snack. Even add it into pancake batter for a high-protein breakfast. The key is to make it feel natural, like just another ingredient in your kitchen. Of course, as with anything new in your diet, check with your doctor, especially if you have kidney issues or are on a special medical diet. For most healthy seniors, whey protein is not only safe but one of the most effective, research-backed ways to fight muscle loss. Let's go back to Margaret one last time. Imagine her morning. She still has her eggs, but this time she adds a small shake made with whey protein, blended with a banana and a little cinnamon. Within weeks, she notices her legs feeling steadier, her arms stronger, and her energy brighter. For her, it's not about becoming a bodybuilder. It's about regaining the strength to live life on her own terms. And that's what whey protein offers. It's not just food. It's freedom, confidence, and the ability to keep doing what matters most. Next, we'll look at why protein alone isn't enough. You'll also need movement, even gentle movement, to maximize its power. And I'll share how combining whey with the right exercises can turn back the clock on muscle loss. Lifestyle pairing: exercise plus protein. Now, here's something important to remember. Protein alone won't save your muscles. You can drink all the whey shakes in the world, but without movement, your body won't have a reason to use that protein. Think of it like this. Protein is the building block, but exercise is the blueprint. Without the blueprint, the building materials just sit there unused. For seniors over 70, the idea of exercise can sound intimidating. You might imagine sweaty gyms, heavy weights, or complicated routines. But here's the truth. You don't need any of that. Even simple, low-impact movements can spark your muscles to say, we need to rebuild. We need that protein. Let's talk about a few examples. Resistance band exercises are one of the easiest and safest options. Just pulling a band gently apart or pressing it away from your body gives your muscles the signal they need. Chair exercises, like seated leg lifts, seated marching, or light arm curls with small hand weights, also do wonders. Even body weight moves like standing from a chair without using your hands can send that critical signal to your muscles. And the best part? You don't need hours a day. Just 15 to 20 minutes, 2 or 3 times a week of focused, strength-based movement, paired with proper protein intake, has been shown in studies to improve strength and reduce sarcopenia in older adults. That's less time than it takes to watch your favorite TV program. Here's a simple picture. You do 10 minutes of gentle resistance band work in the morning. Right after, you enjoy a small whey protein shake. Your muscles are activated from the exercise, the whey floods your system with leucine, and suddenly the signal is loud and clear. Rebuild stronger. That's how you turn back the clock. Exercise also gives you benefits beyond muscle. It improves balance, protects your bones, keeps your joints flexible, and boosts mood. Combined with protein, it becomes a powerful anti-aging strategy, one that doesn't come from a pill, but from your own daily choices. Think of James, who was struggling after his hip surgery. At first, he could barely do simple chair stands. But by pairing those movements with a daily dose of whey protein, he started regaining his leg strength. Within months, he wasn't just standing, he was walking to the park again with confidence. This is the secret. Nutrition and movement work together. Protein gives your muscles the raw materials. Exercise tells your body where to put them, and when you combine the two, even at 70, 80, or 90 years old, you can grow stronger instead of weaker. So as we move to our final section, remember this. Eggs are good, but whey is better. And whey is powerful, but only when paired with movement. In the end, it's the combination of the right protein, at the right time, with the right activity, that unlocks your strength after 70. So let's take a moment to look back at what we've learned together. We started with Margaret's story, the simple but frustrating truth that after 70, muscle strength seems to slip away no matter how many eggs you eat. We discovered why. Sarcopenia and anabolic resistance make it harder for your body to respond to protein the way it used to. It's not your fault. It's simply how the body changes with age. But we didn't stop there. We uncovered the protein that science says works better than eggs for rebuilding muscle after 70, whey protein. Not because eggs are bad, but because whey is richer in leucine, digests faster, and delivers a stronger, clearer signal to your muscles. Wake up, rebuild, stay strong.
We also looked at the science, how whey protein boosts muscle protein synthesis, protects your bones, supports recovery, and keeps your body steady and independent. And then, we got practical. We talked about when to use it, in the morning, after exercise, or before bed. We looked at how much is safe and effective, and easy ways to slip it into oatmeal, smoothies, or even pancake batter. But maybe the most important lesson of all is this. Protein is only half the story. The other half is movement. Even 10 or 15 minutes of simple strength work, resistance bands, chair stands, or light hand weights, combined with whey protein, is enough to reverse muscle loss and give you back confidence. Think about that for a second. At 70, 80, even 90 years old, you can still grow stronger. You can still steady your legs, firm up your arms, and feel energy you thought was gone forever. This isn't about bodybuilding or chasing youth. It's about protecting your independence. It's about walking without fear of falling. It's about lifting your grandchild, carrying your groceries, or simply standing tall with pride. Margaret's story doesn't have to end in weakness. James's recovery doesn't have to stall. Rosa doesn't have to feel like the grandma who can't play. And neither do you. Here's my challenge to you. Don't let age tell you what you can or can't do. Instead, let knowledge guide you. Start with one small change, maybe a daily whey protein shake, maybe a 5-minute chair exercise routine. Build from there. Step by step, you'll feel the difference. Because the truth is this, life after 70 is not about fading quietly. It's about reclaiming your strength, your energy, and your independence. And now, you have the tools to do exactly that. So, if you found this video helpful, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with a friend who needs encouragement. Subscribe for more science-backed tips made just for seniors. And remember, you are never too old to get stronger. Your muscles are waiting for you to give them the right signal. Stay strong, stay hopeful, and I'll see you in the next video.